And, it's funny because as the president and congressional Republicans try to paint Joe Biden as soft on China, influenced, they say, by his son Hunter's alleged financial connections to the country, the latest installment of the New York Times report on the president's taxes says the president has his own financial ties to the Chinese state. A Republican Senate report on Hunter Biden notes among its evidence of questionable foreign connections that he, quote, opened a bank account with a Chinese businessman. But the Times reports that China, along with Britain and Ireland, is a nation where the president is linked to a bank account. The Times reports that Mr. Trump spent a decade unsuccessfully pursuing projects in China, operating an office there during his first run for president, and forging a partnership with a major government-controlled company. The foreign accounts do not show up on Mr. Trump's public financial disclosures, where he must list personal assets because they are held under corporate names. According to the Times, Trump International Hotels Management is the Trump company with the Chinese bank account, and which the tax records show paid more than $188,000 in taxes in China while pursuing licensing deals there from 2013 to 2015. In response to questions from the Times, Trump Organization attorney Alan Garten said the company had opened an account with a Chinese bank having offices in the United States in order to pay the local taxes associated with efforts to do business there. No deals, transactions, or other business activities ever materialized, and since 2015, the office has remained inactive. Though the bank account remains open, it has never been used for any other purpose.
Peter, we go back to John Heilemann talking about everything Donald Trump says is either projection or confession. Of course, you look at those licensing deals, you look at Donald Trump suggesting that Joe Biden's children profited from a relationship with China, when, of course, we heard stories of his own children, of Ivanka getting licensing deals in China during pivotal moments in the Trump-Xi relationship. And, of course, there's just a long, long list of Donald Trump, even in 2020, a list of quotes of Donald Trump praising President Xi. That relationship far closer than the president wants to admit right now.
Well, I think this is one reason, of course, why it's been so important to get a hold of the president's tax returns, right? To have a completely open book on a president who has so many financial interests, not just in this country, but overseas, in order to understand what kind of, factors and dynamics influence a president and his decision-making on policy. The president has gone so far, the Supreme Court, to try to hide these tax records. These tax records indicate that there's a lot of things that you would think that the American public might want to know about. Among other things, for instance, it also shows that he has $400 and some million in debt, much of which is going to come due in the next 4 years if he wins a second term. And we believe it seems to be that at least a lot of that would be held by a foreign bank. We don't know for sure, I think, but I think Deutsche Bank is believed to be the holder of a lot of that debt. These are issues you can imagine that are relevant to a president in the conduct of foreign policy and why these tax returns ought to have been released years ago, and only came out because my colleagues have spent years literally trying to dig around until they could finally get hold of records like these. So I think this is, this goes to the whole question of accountability and transparency in the presidency.
Thanks for checking out MSNBC on YouTube, and make sure you subscribe to stay up to date on the day's biggest stories. And you can click on any of the videos around us to watch more from Morning Joe and MSNBC. Thanks so much for watching.